Good morning, everyone. Namaskar. And I want to start with a scene many of you will recognize instantly. Someone is visibly upset, voice a little sharp, eyes a little tired. And when you ask what happened, the answer is, oh, nothing, just nothing. Said in a tone, it very clearly means everything. And somewhere underneath that nothing is a very real, very specific expectation, one that was never actually spoken out loud, but was expected to be understood anyway. Now, if you're lived on either side of that conversation, and most of us have lived on both sides, you already know today's topic in your bones. It's called breaking silent expectations. So let's begin with this opening thought. Unspoken expectations often become unnecessary disappointments. Yes, just hear that out again. Unspoken expectations often become unnecessary disappointments. Notice the word unnecessary. Not all disappointment is avoidable. Life gives plenty of the real kind. But this particular kind, the kind born from expecting someone to simply know what we needed, that kind, more often than not, we quietly create ourselves. Here's a simple truth. We never argue within a classroom. You cannot blame a student for failing an exam if they were never given the question paper. It sounds almost unfair to even suggest it. How can someone answer what they were never asked? And yet, in our relationships, we do this constantly. We hand people an invisible question paper, expecting them to notice our exhaustion, sense our mood, remember a date we never mentioned, offer help we never asked for, and then we feel let down when they fail. But they didn't fail an exam, they were simply never given one. So this shows up so often for women in particular, quietly expecting others to notice exhaustion without ever being told about it, offer help without ever being asked for it, understand needs they were never once put into words, and for remember emotional details that were mentioned once in passing months ago. Now, these expectations feel reasonable to us because we can see them so clearly from the inside. The trouble is, no one else can. And when they go unmet again and again, they don't just disappear, they quietly convert into resentment. Let me show you what this looks like. Meet Meenaji, a homemaker who has for years managed the entire household calendar in her head. Birthdays, school deadlines, medicine timings, everyone's preferences. She never asked for help because in her mind, if a family truly cared, they would simply notice she's stretched thin and step in. But they don't notice. So every festival season, the same quiet storm builds inside her. And nobody in the house has any idea why. Then meet Nisha, a working woman who stays late finishing a colleague's half-done report again. She never says a word about it, secretly hoping her manager will notice her extra effort and acknowledge it in the next review. The review comes and goes. No mention. Nisha feels invisible, but she was never actually visible because she never said anything out loud. And then meet Deepa, A husband who has quietly been hoping for months that his wife will ask him how work has really been going, sensing without him saying it that he's under pressure. She doesn't ask because she genuinely doesn't know. He interprets her silence as her not caring. In reality, he simply never handed her the question paper either. So Meena, Nisha, Deepa, three different situations, one identical route, real needs, real hopes, just never converted into actual spoken request. There's the shift that changes everything. Healthy relationships are not built on mind reading. Yes, mind reading. They are built on requests. Say the sentence. Don't wait for someone to guess it correctly. Abhi, in many relationships, the spouses have this complaint. तुम बदल गए हो, right? So let's do our reflection exercise for the day. And here's your practice for today. Think of one expectation you are currently holding, quietly unspoken, from someone close to you, a spouse, a child, a colleague, a friend. And now convert it into a clear, specific request. Instead of the silent version, nobody ever helps me. Try saying the spoken version. Could you please take responsibility for this today? And notice the difference. One is a complaint aimed at no one in particular. The other is a request aimed at someone specific who can actually say yes. You deserve to be understood. But understanding begins with being spoken, not assumed. Nobody around you is failing an exam they were never handed. So today, hand someone the question paper. Say the expectation loud, kindly, clearly, directly. You might just be amazed at how willingly people step up. Once they finally know what they were being asked. So with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.